Hello people, in this video I'm going to show you how I made this tiny skateboard. So first I've glued two wooden pieces together and I've made this cutout from a paper board of the drawing, and before marking the outline on the wood I've folded it in this way and this way so that I can get the curves symmetrical in both the directions. So I forgot about one thing before drawing the outline on this, is that it needs to curve on both the sides. Like a skateboard actually has this curved edges. So for that I have cut smaller pieces of the wood and I'm going to stick on top like this. Like this. Arre yaar. Okay, like this. Arre? So I'm going to file it down in order to get this shape, the curve that it needs to have that kickboard effect. Shit, what is it called? The nose. To get the nose and the tail, like this, from both the nose and the tail. So I've also made these small pieces for the axle or where the wheels are going to be fixed. So I'm going to file this down now. So first I tried to use this sandpaper in drilling machine and it worked a bit, but it was still not good. So then I used it with a drill bit and this worked pretty good. A lot of filing needs to be done and it was very hard using the drill machine. So I decided I'll just use the angle grinder. So now that a lot of chunky stuff from the board has been removed, I'm going to use hand filing or hand sanding now. A lot of hand sanding. More sanding. More sanding. Sanding with sandpaper. Sand, sand, sand. File, file, file. Smoothen it out. Smoothen it out. Come on, let's do it. Sanding. More sanding. More sanding. More sanding, more sanding, more sanding. And of course, the skateboard has a curved inside, like concave surface, and that needs a lot of sanding, lots of sanding. So I did that too for a long time. As you can see, there was some chippings and gaps which I was filling up with glue and the wooden dust. And here's me cutting those tiny axles. Oh, I actually worked on this before I even cut the drawing from the paper board. This should have been in the beginning of the video. Editing blender. Editing blunder. So here I am making those tiny slits where the actual axle will go and sit. So this is not the axle, this is more like the holders for the axle to go in. So I'm making tiny slits in this tiny piece of wood. For the axles, I'm actually using those pin sort of things that hold the straps of a wristwatch together. And for the wheels, I'm going to use these bullets, this plastic BB gun bullets. I'm going to heat it up with the heat gun and squish it to make it look more like wheels instead of spears. And here's me heating it up in a cardboard so that I don't burn my hand and so that the ball doesn't fly off. And here they are, all the four of them are done. So I'm going to heat up this pin that I'm going to use as axle, and I'm just going to stab the plastic wheel so that it will just stay in place. And here I'm using the polishing attachment to polish the skateboard. So here I'm just using a tiny piece of the paper board to cover up the axle holder so that the axle doesn't come off. And here I'm gluing them on the board. And I'm very bored while I'm dubbing my own video. And here's the final product. Oops. अरे रुको भैया,